Hi, and welcome to A Look into Health. I'm Rebecca Vallejo, and today we're going to be talking about eating disorders. Eating disorders are any range of psychological disorders characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating habits. So it can go from taking too many diet pills, or purging or starving yourself, or anything that's unhealthy to you in terms of eating and what you eat. We're going to talk about two specific ones today that they're typical in today's society, and a lot of you know about them. The first one we're going to talk about is anorexia. It's an emotional disorder characterized by an obsessive desire to lose weight by refusing to eat. So you want to lose weight, so you don't eat because you think that's going to make you lose weight. There's a lot of things that can cause anorexia. There's psychological causes, which typically, if it's a psychological thing with anorexia, the person is a perfectionist or an overachiever, and they desire to overachieve in everything, and they want to be perfect for everyone. And they appear to be happy on the outside, but on the inside they're miserable, and they're always thinking like, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to be good enough, so they keep starving themselves and getting skinnier, and it just makes them really unhealthy. There's also family and social pressure, which could range in a various amount of things, such as participation in things that demand slenderness. So sports and activities like ballet, gymnastics, cheer, dance, where you don't see a lot, like you don't even see average weight girls there. You gotta be slender, you gotta be thin, you have to look good in anything that they put you in. It can also come from over-controlling parents. So the parents can have a lot of emphasis on looks. They can also be a crazy dieter, like a health freak. And then they could be also critical of the child. They could call them fat and ugly, and they could call them a bunch of names, making the child think, well, I'm not good enough, I have to get skinnier, I have to be this, I have to be that, if I want to make my parents happy. So, and the last thing that can lead to anorexia would be stressful events, like going away, moving somewhere far away, breakups, losing a family member, losing a friend, really traumatic events that you don't see over and over again, just events that happen in a timely manner. They don't happen every single day. And then, let's see here. Brain chemistry plays a huge, a gigantic role in anorexia. They tend to have, after experience, they tend to have high levels of cortisol in their brain, which is the hormone most related to stress. So anorexic people tend to be under a lot of stress, which makes them want to starve themselves more, and it makes them more worried about everything around them. And then they also have decreased levels of serotonin and norepinephrine, which are associated with feelings of well-being. Like, you wake up and you feel good. They don't have that because the levels in their brain are decreased. So some interesting facts that you may not know about anorexia. 1 in every 100 girls and young women suffer from it. So imagine a room full of 100 girls. At least one person in there is probably suffering from anorexia. Doctors, they won't diagnose somebody with anorexia until they have lost 15% or more of their original body weight. Anorexics also grow a fur-like covering called lanuga. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but I could be wrong. Which helps store the heat in their body because fat does that for you, and they're losing all this fat because they're not eating, so that's what the fur-like covering does. Anorexia stems from depression. 50 to 75% of women claim to have been depressed before they were diagnosed with anorexia. Women and girls ages 15 to 14 are more likely to die from anorexia than anything else. And the way I look at that is, at 16 years old, you get your license. And you're driving up until, pretty much you die. And 15 to 24 is the range of where you're learning how to drive. And not even car accidents are a bigger killer than anorexia. Guys aren't immune. You don't hear a lot about guys, but they have a 3% chance of becoming anorexic. And anorexia can delay puberty and ruin your teeth. It can ruin the enamel because you're not getting the nutrients you need to produce it. So signs that somebody could be anorexic or close to it, dieting when being thin. So they're on a diet and they don't need to be. Pretending to eat or lying about eating. Obsession with calories, fat grams, and nutrients. So they're always looking on the back of stuff to see how much of this is in it, and they're worried about how much they're eating of it. Dramatic weight loss. So I'm not talking 1 to 2 pounds. I'm talking like a dramatic loss, like 10 to 15 pounds. Denial that they're too thin. So if somebody tells you you're too thin and they deny it, they're like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine the way I am. And then compulsive exercising. Some treatments. You could seek professional help. You could talk to someone. You could admit. You could get back to a healthy weight. You can eat more. You can change your thoughts in your head. Because thoughts are everything. Your brain controls everything you do. So some short-term health problems that associate with anorexia also turn into long-term goals. They just get progressively worse. Malnutrition, weight loss, dry skin, hair loss, organ malfunction, and then over time it can lead to organ failure and the destruction of organs. Dehydration, dizziness, you black out super easily, weakness, depression, low heart rate, low blood pressure, and low body temperature, and it can even lead to death. Anorexia is a serious issue in today's society, and I hope you enjoy the next segment. We're going to be talking about bulimia, so stay tuned.